back of us. Okay? Everybody ready? Yes. Here we go.
Just across the street was the famous Ken Murray's Blackouts Theater, which has grown to additional fame in the television series Hollywood Palace, and currently being used as the home of the Merv Griffin Show.
Good. One more.
Palace.
Camera's rolling. 1, 2, go.
Just across the street was the famous Ken Murray's Blackouts Theater, which has grown to additional fame in the television series
Camera rolling. Okay? Yes. Here I go.
Just across the street was the famous Ken Murray's Blackouts Theater, which has grown to additional fame in the television series Hollywood Palace, and currently being used as the home of the Merv Griffin Show. Without moving from our vantage point at Hollywood and Vine, you can see the world-famous Pantages Theater, where stars have passed through the wide front doors for years, previewing their own motion pictures as a world premiere.
Here we are standing in front of the Pantages Theater, home of the famous Carol Chadwick, who will be appearing here next week. She's bringing her orchestra and her 65 men's Korean Orthodox choir with her.
Doing their own motion pictures as a world premiere.
And cut. Hold. Okay. It's still rolling, no need to slow. Camera? Go. Camera. I'll tell you when to clap. Clap. Slate.
Take one, Brown Derby. And after the theater, this would not be Hollywood without a trip to the Stars restaurant, the Brown Derby. Located just 50 yards, actually across the street from where we're standing. Hello, my name is Jim Harrison.
And I'm Don Pietro.
From where we're standing, why aren't you both in there at the same time? Rather than you walking in. Okay?
Brown Derby. And after the theater, this would not be Hollywood without a trip to the Stars restaurant, the Brown Derby, located just across the street from where we're standing.
I'm late. Ready for a slate. Okay? Okay. It's rolling.
Take three.
Rolling. Rolling.
Take three, Brown Derby.
Okay. I'm rolling.
This is the playground of the stars, and you have an undated pass through our city with In Hollywood as your special tour guide, reporter, and Take one, Chaplin Studios. Chaplin, take two. These are the original Charlie Chaplin Studios, constructed in 1919 on the corner of Sunset Boulevard and La Brea in Hollywood. I'm Jim Harrison in Hollywood. Let's take a look inside. I blew that myself.
Okay, the middle one's gonna vacillate, Jim, right? Is it? Is it in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay,
There, we're right on. Wait a minute.
okay,
Holding. Good.
okay. Charlie Chaplin. Wait, Charlie Chaplin. Take one. The immortal little tramp, Charlie Chaplin, who made his fame in this city, which he hadn't seen in over 20 years, finally received his star on the Boulevard of Stars, Hollywood Boulevard. Charlie Chaplin's autograph is valued at over $30,000. Wait, I think Jim has something interesting. Calibration okay?
Hold it. 2-8, right? That's right.
This is Charlie Chaplin, take two.
Go.
Take one, rooftop.
Clap it in front of the lens. Higher, higher, right in front of his face. Now, okay, get away. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Now, Jim.
This is the playground of the stars. And you have an undated pass through our city. In Hollywood is your special tour guide.
Jim, you're too soft.
Too soft. Okay.
You're peaking at about 2.
Okay.
Okay?
Speed. Mark it.
Take two, rooftop. This is the playground of the stars. And you have an undated pass through our city. In Hollywood is your special tour guide, reporter, and Hollywood interviewer.
Speed. Mark it.
Take three, rooftop. This is the playground of the stars, and you have an undated pass through our city. In Hollywood is your special tour guide, reporter, and Hollywood interviewer.
Speed.
Take four, rooftop. This is the playground of the stars, and you have an undated pass through our city. In Hollywood is your special tour guide, reporter, and Hollywood interviewer. Take five, rooftop. This is the playground of the stars, and you have an undated pass through our city. In Hollywood is your special tour guide, reporter, and Hollywood interviewer. Take six, rooftop.
Rolling.
Give me a second.
Say it.
Take one, Charlie Chaplin with Marty Jackson. Take two, Charlie Chaplin.
Say when. Okay, now.
The name of Charlie Chaplin will live forever in the mind of Marty Jackson, because Marty Jackson is one of 3 Americans in in the USA to get the autograph of Charlie Chaplin during his recent visit to Hollywood. Marty, how did that take place?
I met him at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and I had seen him the same day of the Academy Awards, but earlier in the afternoon when I got his signature,
How did you get into the bungalow to get that
well,
signature?
I went with Eddie Levesque, one of the Keystone Cops, and he's 76 years old, and I seen his bungalow, and I was inside of it, and I seen his Academy Award, and I met his wife, Ona, and we had a real wonderful afternoon, and Eddie Levesque met him the first time in 30 years.
That's quite an experience for a young man. Will you ever sell that autograph, Marty?
No, I won't, but one of the other 3 people did already.
Marty Jackson, one of the 8 million people in our magic town.
Well, there it is. 30 minutes of In Hollywood, the most talked about city in the world. People everywhere want to know what kind of entertainment Hollywood has and is producing. The romantic essence and artistic structure of Hollywood is felt on every newspaper and magazine rack from the Pacific to the Atlantic coast. And now this impact can be yours on an exclusive basis in Hollywood. Thank you.
$1,000 worth of Hollywood stars. The Walkway of Stars initially opened with embedding 1,336 of Hollywood's best at a cost of $1,500,000. The Walkway of Stars encompasses the streets between Gower and Sycamore, Vine and Yucca. The trees along Hollywood Boulevard were planted at a cost of $85,000. And in this last week, Glenn Campbell and Johnny Mathis have received their startup in the Walkway of Stars. Edith Head, 7-time Oscar winner, will receive hers within the next 7 days. This is Jim Harrison in Hollywood. Don? Well, actually, many of you know him as the famous disc jockey Johnny Rabbitt. And Rabbitt is at the Playboy Club with the bunnies.
This is Hugh Hefner's famed Hollywood Playboy Club on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood. From its early 50s beginning in Chicago to Playboy clubs around the world. And on the drawing boards now, Playboy boats with scheduled cruises. Hefner, now living in Beverly Hills, flies to his international office appointments on the all-black 727 jet called the Bunny. This is Don Pietro in Hollywood.
Listen,
John-
you never tell the folks that John is your
McIntyre.
neighbor, right?
We got him moved in last fall.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he's been there.
And Rock Hudson moved in by
Yeah.
you too,
Rock's
right?
down there. Well, he gets a good little view of the ocean.
You know who lives by me?
Who?
Christine Jorgensen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
What else is happening?
Well,
Today, In Hollywood takes a quick tour through our town, Hollywood.
and Jim has the pleasure of talking to Constance McKenzie of Peyton Place, who in real life is Betty Ackerman.
These and other stories upcoming in Hollywood. Betty, what do you think that most people, as viewers or motion picture theater goers, what is the part that they would relate to most vividly? Would that be Peyton Place?
Well, I hope that now they're beginning to think of me as Constance Mackenzie Carson. See, the show's been on since April the 3rd, and it is on 5 days a week. I'm not in every show. I average about 3 shows. Originally, I was in every show.
How much work is that for you?
A lot.
A lot?
Yes. But I hope that people begin to think of me now as Constance. Of course, still, I would say that most people think of me as Maggie Graham in Ben Casey, because that went on for 5 years. That was once a week.
Did you
for
meet
5
Sam
years.
in Ben Casey?
No. A lot of people think that.
I was going to say that's the popular
Yeah,
consensus.
that's true. Well,
Where did you meet Sam?
We met in New York in Moliere's Tartuffe. Sam was Tartuffe, and I was the leading lady. I was
Well,
Elmire.
that was before Ben
Yeah,
Casey.
that was in 1956. We've been married 16 years.
Do you think that Hollywood, and I'm not just throwing the name out, but do you think that Hollywood is where the entertainment part of show business is happening today because of so much television work being done here and, of course, movie work being done here?
And, well, it's not the Hollywood of old in the fact the way the studios were. It's a different kind of world now with the independent producers and now so many things are beginning to be taped too. You see, so that's another aspect. But
It's today. It's happening today.
Yeah, it is. And Hollywood is very active. It's loaded with extremely talented people, as you know. A lot of them are from displaced New Yorkers, shall we say.
Or South Carolina.
Yeah.
This is Jim Harrison spending an afternoon with actress Betty Ackerman at poolside in Beverly Hills.
Mancha, starring Peter O'Toole and Sophia Loren. The premiere just took place at the Fox Wilshire Theater in Hollywood. There was Cesar Romero and, of course, George Maharis, as well as the producers, the directors, the various cameramen, their wives, and all the people that it takes to make a brilliant Hollywood production such as Man of La Mancha. Cesar Romero, straight from his restaurant in Beverly Hills, always very easily recognizable. There's James Coco, who plays Sancho Panza in Man of La Mancha, and Greg Morris from Mission Impossible. Very popular David Jansen with camera-shy, beautiful Danny Greco. And a rare appearance by Mr. Fred McMurray. There's Hollywood personality Chuck Stewart, caught by our in Hollywood cameras. And the ever-beautiful Miss Polly Bergen, being interviewed by our local television station. Gomer Pyle makes an appearance, Mr. Jim Neighbors. And there's Mr. Bailey with Lucy Arnaz. Let's take a look quickly at the Hollywood premiere of The New Centurions, which starred George C. Scott and Stacy Keach. A film written by a policeman about policemen. And of course, that night, Los Angeles Police Department showed up in full regalia with Police Chief Ed Davis. And there's Cesar Romero again making an appearance, and Joey Heatherton, and Dennis Cole, and Julie Newmar, and Mr. Magoo. Lovely Diane Carroll, caught by our in Hollywood cameras. President of the Thalians, Miss Ruta Lee. The photographers scramble and push. Wait a minute, it's Jimmy Stewart. He doesn't have time for an in-Hollywood camera. He's going to be interviewed for the television. Well, very shortly, you'll see Jimmy Stewart in Hollywood. There's Carlton Heston. And I think arriving right now, yes it is, it's Los Angeles Mayor Sam Yorty, who just got through working in a motion picture. That's kind of what it looks like at a Hollywood premiere.
Welcome back to the Room at the Top, Restaurant of the Stars, our vantage point in Hollywood. Next, let's go to a Hollywood recording studio.
From his vantage point at the Room at the Top penthouse lounge overlooking the film capital, in Hollywood reporter Don Pietro takes you for a personal tour of the sights and sounds in Hollywood.
People, they smile when they are low.
Starring Lucille Ball. And Lawrence Welk hit an all-time high in television syndication with over 11 million homes. Internationally famous rock and roll recording group, the Bee Gees, start on their worldwide tour from Hollywood, and we'll take a look at a couple of Hollywood premieres. Our first guest in Hollywood today is a regular on the Rowan and Martin Laugh-In Show. And her credits this year include the Dean Martin Show, the Flip Wilson Show, and the specially written version of the Lucy Show entitled My Fair Buzzy. We'll be right back with Jim Harrison, one of our in Hollywood reporters, and Ruth Buzzy in Hollywood.